Here's what you missed on the Sully Baseball Daily Podcast. There are still critics of Ichiro. Now, Ichiro got his 4,000th professional hit. Now, I have a hard time equating all the hits he got in Japan as being equivalent to the hits he got in America. But the fact of the matter is he has more of those 4,000 hits in America, and I believe that in a few years he is going to get to 3,000 hits. And it's a remarkable achievement. No matter what you're talking about, it's a remarkable achievement. And the fact that there are detractors of Ichiro Suzuki and that the fact that there are people who try to critique his game I think people just don't get it. I truly believe there are some people who can look at a beautiful sunset and the first words out of their mouth would be, let me tell you why this sucks. Ichiro Suzuki is a wonderful thing to have happened in baseball for many, many reasons. But some of them are truly visceral. The excitement that he brings to the game, which he does, the havoc that he causes on the base path. I'll tell you how exciting it is. My wife does not follow baseball. She doesn't. And this has become a point on this show. But she likes Ichiro. One of the reasons why she likes Ichiro is, well, I'll be honest, and I'm secure enough in my own manhood to say this, she thinks he's kind of sexy. And he's not my type, but I can certainly see why. The other thing is, I had a game on the other day that Ichiro was playing in, and my wife just happened to be sitting with me and happened to be watching because she was going, Ichiro, Ichiro! And Ichiro got an infield hit and just flew down the bases. And my wife just borderline jumped off the couch and said, whoa, look at him go! And she was excited by the infield hit that he got. And it was remarkable. It was, he beat out this, which any other player would be thrown out at, and his electrifying speed beat it up. And the havoc that he caused, okay, I got the ground ball. Oh, no, it's the equivalent of a hit. Oh, he stole the base. It was the equivalent of a double. And his throwing runners out. I mean, we all remember the great throw that he made nailing Terrence Long out, but he just still has that great arm and that great gun. And he's an exciting player to watch. He's a fun player to watch. And he piles up all these hits and everything. And his critics are always pointing to the things that he's not. He's not a big on-base guy. He doesn't have lots of power. He doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, and they fold all these stats together, showing me that Ichiro is not a great player. And yet, I'm so happy he's in the big leagues. Beyond the fact that he is a remarkably exciting player to watch, and that he brings an unpredictability to the game, wreaking havoc. No one's testing him for roids. He brings a different kind of game, and he's probably going to play 3 or 4 more years at a decent level and get to those 3,000 hits. He's also opened up the game so people actually look at players from Asia in a way they hadn't before. They hadn't scouted some of the other players because they go, oh, they won't be able to play in the big leagues. Some of the pitchers might, but the position players won't. And then, boom, we realized actually they can. And you saw some good players coming from Japan. I mean, we would never have seen Hideki Matsui in the American League if it weren't for Ichiro Suzuki. Never in 1,000 years. The main point is that people who are picking apart the stats to tell you why Ichiro isn't as good as you think he is. Telling you why this player who's incredibly fun and dynamic. Well, actually, let me show you this equation. He doesn't walk enough. He doesn't hit the home run enough. You know, it's just focusing on what he's not. Reminds me a little bit of people I went to film school with who would critique Jurassic Park. And they would pick apart Jurassic Park, saying, well, this plot structure doesn't flow well, this character isn't well defined, this plot point doesn't move to that plot point in the right way, this action is unjustified, and breaking it down like that. And I understand why you break down films like that. I certainly do. I understand why you break down statistics on some players in certain ways. I absolutely understand that. But there also is an enjoyment quality. There almost is a, yeah, I know all that, but look at what they're bringing to the table. Look at how cool the T-Rex is. Look at how great the Raptors are. Look at how fun the film is. Look at how fun Ichiro is. I did not go to Jurassic Park thinking I was going to get a perfectly told story in terms of plot structure. I was expecting a fun movie, kind of like a roller coaster ride, involving dinosaurs that happened to look amazing because it had Steven Spielberg making it with the best special effects people in the world. I went into Ichiro's career not knowing what the hell we were going to have. Could this guy even play in the major leagues? And not only could he could play in the major leagues, he could play at a high level. And the biggest complaint I heard people have at Jurassic Park was comparing it to Jaws. And people saying, well, Jaws had a great story. Jaws had a great cast. Jaws had the great acting in it with the same director. Why couldn't Jurassic Park be at the level of Jaws? The same thing people were complaining about Ichiro. So, well, this Griffey hit for power in the average, and this player did this and that player did that. And saying, okay, so your complaint with Jurassic Park is it isn't one of the greatest movies of all time. Your complaint with Ichiro Suzuki is he's not one of the greatest players of all time. Well, how greedy are you? Why does everything have to be the greatest of all time? Why can't you just enjoy Jurassic Park as a fun movie with there's some scenes in it that are dumb and some scenes that don't quite make sense. But you walk away and it's fun. Why can't you appreciate Ichiro Suzuki's wonderful career for being fun, for being entertaining, and from my wife's point of view, kind of sexy? I'm going to say something that's going to sound contradictory because I've been yelling and acting a little crazy here. But calm down. Relax. Ichiro, Jurassic Park, both a lot of fun. Are they the greatest of all time? No. But you know what? When they show highlights of either one, and I'm flipping around TV, I'm going to stop and watch. There's a new podcast every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Unless there's a leap year, then we're going to do another one. Catch us on iTunes, Soundcloud, or follow us on Twitter at Sully Baseball. I'm your host, Paul Francis Sullivan. Please call me Sully.